your meal plan. So it says based on X number of calories per day. I'm at 1,400 calories because of my height, my weight, and I want to burn. So I need to stay in a caloric deficit. So the biggest question people had was, what are macros? So you're gonna track your protein, your fat, and your carbs. For me, that's 140, 140, and 31 for the day. Up here in this little box right here where it says protein 140, carbohydrates 140, fats 31, that's not per meal. That is for your whole day. So just like I'm gonna take my 1,400 calories and divide them by 4 because I eat 4 meals. I do breakfast, a snack when I get to work, I do a lunch later on in the afternoon, and then I eat a dinner. So 1,400 divided by 4, that is how many calories I eat per meal. And the same thing, protein 140 grams, divide that by 4, that's how many grams of protein you wanna eat each meal. Carbs, same thing, divide that by 4, that's how many you wanna eat each meal. And then fats, 31 grams, that's how much you wanna eat each meal. Your protein. A lot of people are asking for their egg whites if you're on the bulking plan. Mine says 8 count, I don't eat eggs, but for some people, it's like 15, 20 eggs, something like that. You don't have to eat 20 eggs per meal. What you wanna do is you want all of your proteins to equal whatever your number up here is divided by the number of meals. So again, if you're eating 3 meals a day, divide that number by 3. If you're eating 4 meals a day, divide that number by 4. If you're doing 5, divide it by 5. Whatever you plan on doing for that day, divide that number by how many meals you want to have. And you know, if you're short on one meal, you go over one meal, yes, you can subtract and add to another one. So if I'm short on breakfast for my protein, I'll eat a little more protein for a snack in the afternoon by doing like a turkey roll up or, you know, adding a little bit of extra chicken to my salad for lunch. I just find ways to sneak it back in, or I'll do an extra half scoop of protein powder whenever I do a shake after my workout. As long as you're getting your macros in the day, that's the ultimate goal. So for protein, this does not mean you have to only pick 1 protein, 1 carb, and 1 fruit for breakfast. The best way to do it is to figure out what your favorite foods are, figure out what is in those, and then figure out the portion that you need. So egg whites for breakfast, don't eat 8, only choose like 4. And then you still have room for another protein. So if you want to do 4 egg whites, but then you want to mix in some turkey, it says 140 grams is a serving of lean ground turkey. 400 to 450 grams is about a pound of meat. So if you're looking at 100 grams, that's about a quarter pound. If you break it down further, it's about 1/8 of a pound. With all of your food, you want to weigh it after it's cooked. And whenever you're weighing meat, if you weigh a pound of meat, it's going to be 16 ounces. After you cook it, you're going to lose about 25% of its weight. So it actually will drop. So in theory, you want your raw meat to be a little bit heavier than what this is going to be. Granted, whenever you get really good at it, you'll be able to know exactly, like, here's my turkey. 1.25 pounds is going to be raw, and then when I cook it, it's going to equal exactly what this is. Like with everything else, you master it as you go. So the best thing you can do is just cook, rinse, repeat, try again. Split this up. As long as all of these together equals this, that's what matters. When it comes to fruit for breakfast, you don't just have to eat 150 grams of blueberries. I counted it out and I actually used the Nutrition Mix website. That's like 75 blueberries. What I do is I will do a couple strawberries. 5 strawberries is roughly 1 serving for me if I do it by 150 grams. So I'll do like 2 strawberries, like 20 blueberries, and like 5 raspberries. I'll cut those up and I'll throw them on top of my yogurt, which is up here. In protein, you can use fat-free plain Greek yogurt. If you have a store near you that does like a Carb Master yogurt, it is low carb, low fat, low everything. All it really is just protein and yogurt, but has like no nutritional value in anything else. So I will throw that in there. It makes it easier. When it comes to carbs, same thing. You can mix up the food that is going in your meal. For the grits, the steel cut oats, and the cream of wheat, whenever it says weigh uncooked, you weigh it raw. So you get your scale, you put your bowl in it, hit tare so it zeroes out, and then you add like your grits completely raw and uncooked. Make sure that's gonna hit whatever it says that you need. So mine would be 35 grams. I'm gonna weigh out 35 grams and then I will cook them. I don't weigh them afterwards. Everything else on here, like sweet potato or white potato, I need 140 grams. I'm not going to weigh that uncooked. I'm going to cook that first, and then I'm gonna weigh it out after it's cooked. The same thing with all of my proteins. Don't try to weigh out raw egg whites and then, no, that's just weird. Everything else, cook it first. Literally everything on here except for grits, oats, and cream of wheat, you weigh after it's been cooked, after it's been processed. If you're eating it raw, then eat it raw, like your veggies and stuff, eat it raw. If you're gonna cook it, then weigh it after it's cooked. But the only thing that really matters is your grits, your oats, and your cream of wheat. I'm not sure why, but you have to weigh those completely raw. Vegetables. This is my biggest thing. I know a lot of people that I follow say that they're intuitive eaters or they don't count greens. What that means is when it comes to your vegetables, you don't actually count it. That's why when you look on here, it just says 100 grams. It doesn't give you a calorie count. The calories, the protein, the carbs, the fat are so low, almost non-existent in some vegetables. That's where you sneak your snacks in. If you're someone that's like, oh, I've got to eat, you know, if you're quitting smoking, you're quitting drinking, you're a snacker in the afternoon, you've got to have something to eat. The best thing you can do is use your vegetables. I am a big fan of using baby spinach for salads. Cucumbers. If you take a cucumber and chop it up and then get some of the Jolly Rancher, the drink packets that you put in water bottles, the green apple flavor, sprinkle a pack of those on cucumber slices, and it's actually like prep friendly apples. I stole that trick from Kerrigan Pike. So Kerrigan, if you ever watch this video, I do listen to the tricks you say. I don't have the goal body yet, but I'm gonna get there one day. Snow peas, bell peppers, mushrooms, tomatoes, literally all of this you can eat raw, and it is so good for you. It's so much of a better snack, and snacking on foods like these are gonna be so much better for you than hitting up Starbucks to get the egg puffs, going to like McDonald's to get a late like side of fries before you go home for dinner. These things are where you need to, if you're gonna blow your macros and you're gonna blow your diet and you're gonna go over your calories, blow your diet on something that is good for you. Don't blow your diet on something that is going to just make you feel like a potato. Condiments, black pepper is amazing, sea salt, Himalayan, pink salt. Learn the difference between your salts. The normal table salt is terrible. It is overprocessed. It has no nutritional value. All it is like powdered sodium. Sodium is good for you in the right way. You do need it to keep going, but you don't need to load everything down with generic table salt. I love gray salt, which is like Celtic Irish salt. You can get black salt, you can get garlic salt. Just find what you like and use it. Garlic is amazing, cinnamon's amazing. Ketchup actually has a lot of sugar in it, so try to find one that doesn't have a lot of the corn syrup and the oils in it. Fat-free dressings are amazing. Kraft has that whole like fat-free, reduced fat line. When it comes down to eating a lot of your foods, what sneaks in there is fat, and the fact that I can only have 31 grams of fat in a whole day, I'm not gonna blow it on 2 tablespoons of ranch, because let's be real, that is like absolutely no ranch. I'm from North Carolina, like not originally, but I grew up there. Everything has ranch, and everything has buttermilk ranch, and fat-free ranch is just full of lies and sadness, so I can't do that. Mustard is great. Dijon mustard, if you put spicy mustard on your laps, they're amazing. Cajun spices, hot sauce, sugar-free barbecue sauce. Again, watch the sugar, watch the corn syrups, and just watch the salt contents. Keep it low sodium and you're good. The other thing that says, drink your gallon of water a day. Get a cute cup, get a cute sippy cup. Whatever it's gonna take you to convince you to drink that water and get through your day, do it. If you can't get up from your desk and you're stuck at work all day long, especially with everything going on right now, a lot of people are trying to minimize getting up and walking around and moving around. Go on Amazon and find one of those like gallon jugs. It's gonna keep you from getting up, it's gonna keep you from being exposed to other people, it's gonna keep you in your seat. I went to Walmart and went in the camping section. They actually had like a 64 ounce, it's supposed to be like a growler for camping. At work we use them for beer because they keep everything insulated and cold. I use it for water. Like I will fill it up with water and keep it behind the bar. So the funny thing is everyone thinks while I'm at work that I've got a half gallon of beer. I'm actually chugging half gallon of water. So it's just funny to have people look at it because it's definitely like a beer container, but I'm not using it for beer. I don't chug beer while I'm at work. When you work around that much beer, you don't drink that much of it. When it comes to meal math, I know a lot of people have been asking, how do you come up with recipes? How do you meal plan? How do you stop eating just chicken and rice every single meal? So what I did is it took a lot of time and effort. I started with getting one of those little like white dry erase boards that you put on the fridge or a locker. It's back to school time, so those things are great. Scribble things out. So if I want to create a recipe, I'm gonna put down all the ingredients I need, and then I'm going to pull up my phone and pull up the nutrition calculator and see what I need, see the amount of calories that are in like 100 grams, because for me that's the easiest math. 100 grams of chicken equals this many calories, this many proteins, this many fats, this many carbs. Because from there, if I need to break it in half, it's easier for me to break the following numbers in half off of 100 instead of saying, the one-up guide says 87 is this, 35 is this. I know what I'm looking for proteins, I know what I'm looking for carbs, and I know what I'm looking for fats. So I actually converted everything to a Google spreadsheet. If I can find a way to convert it and hand it out to people, I will. But for right now, I kind of just have to talk through it. So the few recipes that I have, I will add below, just so you have an idea. And then if anyone follows me on Instagram, it's Nikki Beth Fit, just shoot me a DM and I can screenshot this and actually send you the image. That's probably the only way I think I can do it. If not, send me an email. It's nikkibethfit@gmail.com, and I will try to screenshot this and then send you the email. From there, as I get more recipes, I will try to upload them, I guess either here or on a website. I just came up with 3 really quick recipe ideas for breakfast. So you've got the busted burrito and yogurt, my favorite thing to eat at what is it? First Watch. It's like a deconstructed chicken burrito, and then it always has a side of like home fries and then a side of fruit. So I tried to replicate that. For this meal, it is my busted burrito and yogurt. The total calories for the whole meal are only 295. My goal for my meal is 350. My goal for fats is 7.75 grams. This equals only 6. My carbs and my protein goals are 35, and this only has 26 carbs and 34 grams of protein. So for calories, fat, carbs, and protein, I'm actually under in all my categories. So later on during the day, I can actually add a little bit more if it's something I want to splurge on. My busted burrito and yogurt is literally just a burrito without a shell and then a little side of yogurt and fruit. So what I do is I do 50 grams of cubed red potatoes. I do a quarter of a chopped white onion and diced. I do a quarter of a diced green bell pepper, shredded chicken, fat-free sour cream, which is like 2 tablespoons. I do 28 grams of fat-free shredded cheddar that I got from the grocery store, just whatever the store brand is. I throw on 31 grams of salsa verde, which again, I think it's like 2 tablespoons, whatever a serving size is. 85 grams of Carb Master yogurt, which is a hefty freaking bowl, and then 72 grams of strawberries, which if you actually take 4 strawberries and just slice them up, that's roughly where the weight is. So to make this meal, what I would do is I would shred the chicken. So I have an Instant Pot, you can crock pot it, but just slow cook your chicken and shred it up, chill it for breakfast the next morning. I'm gonna throw that in the microwave and warm it up. I'm going to cube the red potatoes, the white onion and the green pepper, throw it in a saute pan, cook those up as kind of like a side of like home fries, and then throw it all on a plate, top it with the shredded cheese, the sour cream, and the salsa verde, and then on the side bowl, I just do the yogurt with the strawberries inside it. It's quick, it's easy, I'm under all my macros, and if you were to weigh all that out and cook all that out, that's a pretty healthy breakfast for someone. The next thing, I don't eat eggs, but this is a recipe I see a lot of people do. I know a lot of people like little egg puff muffins, so you can mix all this up and separate it into 8 little muffin tins, or you can cook it in a casserole dish, and then when you cut it, just cut it into 8 slices. But the total, whenever you cook all this and split it 8 ways, it's 208 calories per serving, and I'm supposed to be at 350, so I'm way below my calories. It is higher in fat. It's 14 grams of fat overall. My goal is 7.75, so that just means that if I'm gonna snack for lunch, then I'm only going to have like raw vegetables, fat-free dressing, something like that. I also have 3 grams of carbs, so that means I can go over in carbs but less in fat later, and then 17 grams of protein. So surprisingly enough, I would have to make up a lot of my other macros and then cut back on my fat. But if you're someone that like wants like a hearty, good breakfast, this is a good way to splurge. 6 eggs in a bowl, granted, mix all this up, separate it, and then you bake it. But it's like 6 whole eggs, a whole bell pepper, a whole white onion, 1 full pound of turkey sausage, and 1 cup of fat-free cheese. So what happens here is the calories go up because I'm using whole eggs instead of egg whites. If you were to switch it out for egg whites, you would go way down in the fat department, which means you wouldn't have to cut fats out of a later meal. For this, it's only 230 calories, 4 grams of fat, 35 carbs, and 37 protein. So I'm way under calories, I am exactly on my carbs, and I'm over protein by 2 grams, which when it comes to your macros, I would want to be slightly over on my protein than anything else. It's really just my fat that I'm trying to stay at or below. So it's 100 grams of yogurt, which again, if you get the Carb Master, that's a lot of yogurt. And then I take 20 grams of uncooked oatmeal. So all I do is I just keep tearing out my scale and keep adding to the bowl. Put my yogurt in there, mix it up a little bit. I take a banana and then just slice it up into little strips, cut them in half, throw it in there. And then 13 grams of PB2, which I believe is like 1 serving. So if you mix all that in there, you literally wind up with peanut butter, banana, mushy oats. It's like a smoothie that you haven't really drank.